Alright, so in the last video we did the nav bar. We also did our main showcase, which also has it uses a carousel. Now this goes kind of fast. I'm pretty sure it's 3 seconds by default, which is a little fast, so I think that we should slow it down. So before we get started with the icon area, let's just go to the bottom here. And what we'll do is go in our script tag, and we'll say configure slider. And we want to use jQuery to grab onto the carousel class and just say dot carousel, and then we can pass in an object of options. An interval is one of those, so I'm going to change it to 6,000. So that's 6,000 milliseconds, which is 6 seconds. And I'm also going to set the pause to hover, so that if we hover over it, it actually pauses the image. So let's save that. Now that will run a little slower. All right, so now, like I said, we want to work on the icon area. So let's go up right below the last section, and let's put this. Let's add this. So let's see. Let's say, what should we call this? Let's call it the home icon section. So this will obviously be a section tag. We're going to give it an ID of, let's say, home-icons. And I'm going to give it a class of py5 because I want padding on the top and bottom. And then we want a container. And you can see that with every theme, I have a basic outline of how I do things. And it's just section by section. So in here, we're going to have a row because we're using the grid. And we want 3 4-column divs as long as the screen is medium and up. So let's add, let's say, class of call-md-4. All right, now I also want to add a margin bottom to these. So I'm going to also do an mb-4. And then I want everything centered, so I'm going to do text-center. All right, and we want 3 of these, so I can say times 3. And this is only if you have Emmet, if you're using Emmet. Otherwise, just type this stuff out, which sucks. I would definitely suggest using Emmet. In here, we want to put an icon. So we'll say i.fas, and then the icon I want is the gear. So let's say COG. And let's do 3 times as big, so class of fa-3x. And let's also do a margin bottom 2 to push things down a little bit. So hopefully that shows up. And then we'll put our H3, and we're just going to say turning gears. Don't ask me what that means. I just put anything that that I think of, whatever. It's not really important. If you guys want to put a different heading, it's fine. If you want to use real text instead of dummy text, that's fine. It's just not the focus of this course. The focus of the course is Bootstrap. So let's add 10 words of dummy text here. And then that should be it for this column. So what I'll do is copy the I tag, the H3, and the paragraph, and put that inside of this div. And I want to change the icon to a cloud. So I'm going to say cloud, fa-cloud. And we're going to change the H3 here to sending data. Okay, we'll leave the text. This last one, we'll paste this in. And we're going to change it to fa-cart-plus. And then we're going to change the H3 to making money. So let's save and take a look. There we go. So that looks pretty good. And there's nothing we even have to do as far as custom CSS. So now we're going to move on to the home heading area, which uses an overlay. It's going to have a background image with an overlay, which we've done in the last 2 themes as well. So let's say home heading, home heading section. Not to be confused with a header, it's just a heading. It's just a large text. So let's put a section here. Let's give it an ID of home-heading. Let's give it a class of p5 because I want padding all around. And it's going to have an overlay, so we're going to have a class of dark overlay. And inside here we'll put our grid. Let's do a call. Just going to go all the way across. And then let's do a container. And let's also do a padding top of 5 to push everything down, to push the content down. And for the H1, we're just going to say, we'll say, are you ready to get started? Not starters, started. And under that, we'll put a paragraph with the class. Now, this paragraph, I only want to show on medium screens and up, so I'm going to do D none, so that'll hide it at first, and then we'll do D-MD block, so that it shows on medium screens and up. And then in here, let's do lorem 20. Yeah, that should be fine. So if we save that and take a look, it's not going to look very good because we need to add our CSS. We need to add the background image. We also need to add the overlay. All right, so let's go back and let's go to our CSS and let's put our ID of home-heading, and we're going to add position relative, and let's set a minimum height of 200 pixels. And then I'm going to set the background to be a URL, and the image is going to be outside in the image folder, and then it's going to be the lights.jpg. Okay, let's add a background attachment property here, and we'll set it to fixed. And then I'm going to set background repeat. And the fixed is basically going to give us like a kind of like a parallax effect. Background repeat, of course, no repeat. I don't know why that's not the default. And then let's align the text to the center. So we'll say text align center and make the color white. So if I save that and we take a look, okay, so there we go. Now the background image, I don't want it to stay like that. That's just the normal image. I want it to have the overlay. So let's go back and let's add that CSS. So we're going to go right underneath and the class of dark overlay. Did I make it a class or an ID actually? Class. So yeah, so it's a good example of where to use a class because you might want to use this somewhere else. So let's say position absolute, and we want let's see, top 0. So same principle that we've been doing, just background absolute, and then we want it to cover everything. So we want to start at the top left, and then width should be 100%. Height should also be 100%. And then the color, or the background, I should say, is going to be an RGBA. And we're going to do black, so 0, 0, 0. And then for the alpha, we're going to do 0.7, which is basically the transparency. So we'll go back, and there we go. So now we have this dark overlay. Okay, so I think we have time to do the info section, so we'll do that next. I don't believe we have any custom CSS for that. It's just all markup. So let's say info section with the ID of info. I'm also going to do a PY3, so padding on the top and bottom. And let's do a container and a row. And then we're going to do a two 6-column divs. So call, we're going to do call MD6. And I also want to align to the center. So let's say align dash self, since it's on this element, and then center. And then inside here we'll have an H3. I'll just say lorem ipsum, and then some sample text in a paragraph. So let's say lorem 20 tab. And then I'm just going to put a learn more button, or a link formatted as a button. So we'll say BTN, and let's do BTN outline danger. So it'll be a red bordered button. And let's also make it large. Okay, and we'll just put a hash there. And for the text, we'll just say learn more. I mean, I guess you could have it go to like the about page, like that. And then we want another 6-column div. So right under here, let's say call MD6. And this is where we want our laptop image. So let's say image, we'll give it a class of image fluid. And for the source, it's going to be in the image folder, and it's called laptop.jpg. So let's go ahead and save. And let's take a look. Let's see. So where is the image? Image, laptop, JPEG. Oh, it's a PNG. I'm sorry. And there we go. Okay, so in the next video, we're going to work on the video section. So basically, we're going to have, and I'll show you real quick, we're going to have this area here with a little icon. If we click it, it's actually going to autoplay a video, which is just the trailer for my channel. But you could put any YouTube video to play if you want. All right, so that's what we'll work on next, guys. I will see you then.